right, YouTube, this is Mr. Mean coming at you this Saturday afternoon at 2:30 on November 14th. I hope everyone is doing well. Not one, but two play sessions today because me and Nasser, we are gluttons for punishment. So as always, like and subscribe. Help grow the Meanie Army. I'm on Patreon. I'm on Zelly Pay Me. I'm on PayPal Pay Me. If you want to donate to the channel, please do. And as always, like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But today, I am running these guys through Delve, 2nd edition. We have the designer of the game, the awesome Mr. Feral Games Inc. himself, Jay. But we're going to start with Nasser. Give us a shout out, Nasser.
My name is Nasser Khalid, and I am a member of the Gulf role-playing community and a co-founder for Tabletop House Bahrain. And I am one of the members of the Mr. Mean Army.
All right. Penderwild.
This is my first time joining this group of meanies for an RPG game. Looking forward to learning and playing Delve. Never played it before.
All right. Mojo.
Hey everybody, I'm Mojo and I like to play role-playing games, and I generally join this game because I like Mr. Mean.
Boy, that's an endorsement right there, isn't it? All right there, Jay. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Feral Games?
Okay, I'm Jay. I am Feral Games Inc. I design Delve. Hopefully people enjoy it. Like Penderwide, I've never played before either. So this will be the first time for me. And I'm also a member of the Mr. Mean Army, a proud member. And even though my name is not in any colours or anything.
I will fix that today, sir. That's the shout back. That's getting me back for the blood iron. Well played, sir. Well played.
But so I'm looking forward to tonight's game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a bit different. So cool.
Yeah, and we're so none of us have played this. It's going to be a little loosey goosey. This is a percentile game, but your damage and stuff uses all the other dice. So you'll need a set of percentile dice and then your regular D8, D4, D6, and possibly a D12 if you get lucky, but I doubt it. So without further ado, we are going to dive in. All of you wake up on a beach. You're cold. You're wet. No armor. No weapons. No food. It's storming outside. Last night you were on the ship, the Ladies Beguile, and you were drinking and partying and having fun. You had just come off a successful, shall we say, raid. Were you pirates? You're not quite sure. You can't remember. But you're on this beach and you wake up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go one by one. We're going to make a couple of rolls, and we're going to do a little role playing. So we're going to start with Jay. Let me see here. What I would like everybody to do is in the chat or in the Discord on the left-hand side of your screen, you'll see your name. If you could right-click on it and change your nickname to the name of your character, and your character can be anything you want to call it. But just because I want to refer to everybody in character. So we'll start. Everybody can take the time to do that right now. So just think of it a quick name. It doesn't have to be amazing. You don't have to think of the greatest name in the world. You can be Bob if that works for you. All right. So we've got Rudgar Ironblade. Sounds like a good warrior name. Mojo is Valak. Big Han, and Moggins. Moggins got to be the goblin, yes?
Yep.
How did I know? All right, well, so Rudgar, you wake up on the beach. You're cold, no armor. The firm grasp of your sword is not in your hand. You don't remember what happened. There was a storm. There was lightning. There was thunder. There was rain. And the next thing you know, you woke up on this beach, apparently alone. You stand up, covered in sand and wet, kind of miserable to be honest. You go in your pockets. What do you find? Please roll me a D100.
Oh, I find a 98.
Ooh. You have an emerald flawlessly cut, about the size of your pinky finger. The tip of your pinky finger. It is a beautiful gem. Why is it there, Jay? Why is it there, Rudgar? Do you know? Do you remember?
I don't know. Maybe it was from the last raid. Maybe it's something I picked up and was beguiled by its and thought, well, I'll have that because that would be worth a bit.
That's worth a penny. Yes.
That might be
Too bad in reality you're on an island that has no income. Would you roll one more time for me, sir?
70.
17. Well, as you
No,
search,
70.
oh, 70.
70.
Yes, sir. As you search through your pockets, you find nothing, so you check the other pocket. One more roll, please.
Oh, I found nothing.
You found nothing.
19.
19.
19. Yeah.
90 or 19?
Yeah, 19. 19.
So you reach into your other pocket and you pull out a handful of wet sand. The gods of Cragbaron have not smiled on you, sir. All right, so that was Rudgar. As you stand looking around, you see Mr. Valak. Valak, are you playing the cleric or the ranger?
I'm playing the scout.
The scout. So that's the dwarf, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you see a dwarf, Rudgar, and he's much in the same way as you. No armor, ratty clothes, beard all mangled with sand and a little seaweed. Valak, as you stand up and you look around, you don't immediately see the human, but you reach into your pocket. You have nothing on you. Your axe is nowhere to find. Your bow is gone. How can you be a scout if you don't have these gears? You reach into your pockets. What do you find? Roll a D100 for me, sir.
88.
All righty. Wow. You find a very polished pebble, probably worthless, but you never know. Go ahead and give me another roll.
65.
Well, how did this get in your pocket? It is a ring. It is silver. It is etched with some strange words that you do not know, and a garnet in it. It has a faint glow to it. Maybe we'll find out later what it is. One more roll. Oh, I think that was your last roll, right? Nope, one more. If you haven't figured it out, everybody, you get 3 rolls on this chart. What was it?
Oh, 92. 92.
Alrighty. And the thing that was kind of jabbing you in the butt is a carved wooden animal. What kind of animal is it?
It's a horse.
A horse. So a small wooden carved statue. Perhaps you carved it. You don't remember. And as you stand up and you look over and you look around, you see this human. Rudgar, would you please describe yourself?
Okay, so I'm quite large in height. I'm about 6'5". I'm quite broad-shouldered, long hair tied into a ponytail, beard, confused look on my face.
So in other words, me on a normal day.
Yeah.
Okay there, Valeric, would you describe what you look like?
I'm a bit short. I'm a bit rugged on the edges, as they say. And I have a braided beard. It's golden color. And I have a lazy eye. And what else? That's it.
Okay.
Some of my hair is already growing gray.
Ah, excellent. Well, as you look around the beach, you look further down, and you see what appears to be a goblin. Muggins, as you wake up, covered in sand and damp, remembering the frolicking of the night before in the storm. But now, you're not on the boat anymore. Now, you're on a beach, apparently by yourself. You reach into your pockets. What do you find?
Let's find out. That is a 74.
Oh. You appear to have a small vial of this reddish, glowing liquid. You believe it could be a healing potion.
All right.
Everybody stab the goblin, take the potion.
If they know that I have it.
Right. Hey, look, guys, I got a healing potion. No. All right. What else do you find in your pocket?
Let's do this. And that's a 96, I think. Yeah, it's a 96.
You obviously it makes sense for a goblin. You have some dried fruit.
Oh, nice.
Hey, that's food.
Yeah.
And then one last roll.
All right. That will be a 43.
43. Oh, this is so perfect. A lockpick. You have a set of lockpicks.
What do you
How-
turn that one?
Yeah. Hey, how apropos that the thief of the group would have lockpicks. Alrighty there, Mr. Big Han. Well, I'm sorry, Moggins. As you look around, you see what appears to be further down the beach, away from you, a distraught dwarf, as Valak described himself, and the human. But what does the goblin look like?
This goblin would be like your regular goblin. He's bold. He's got these long ears, long goblin ears. He's probably dressed in ragged clothing.
Oh, everybody is.
Yeah. No distinctive markings on his face. He just has this kind of crazy look on him.
Excellent. And then as you look down the beach further, you see another body laying in the sand, just now starting to stir. Big Han, as you wake up, wet, soggy, cold, remembering the night before where it was revelry and fun, and then the storm hit, and now you're on a beach seemingly deserted until you look around and see the others that were mentioned. What do you find in your pocket?
I find number 4.
Alrighty. So, as you reach in your pocket, something pricks your finger. As you pull it out, you realize it's a dead fish. What else is in your pocket?
More food for the goblin, apparently. 45.
45. You also find a lockpick. And last but not least, what's in the other pocket?
74.
Ooh. A potion of healing. How fortuitous. And in case nobody noticed, delve also spells out your attributes: dexterity, endurance, learning, vitality, and empathy. And if you take the first letter of each, it spells out delve. How clever
Nice.
is that?
That is
So,
very nice.
and Big Han, what do you look like?
I hadn't really thought of what I looked like. It says here that I'm a cleric fighter with a background of scribe, so
And
I guess the
you're a
range
gnome.
would- yeah. I mean, so I'm short, and the scattered raiment that I do have would be indicative of somebody knowledgeable and educated.
Yes.
Um,
So
Yeah.
definitely looking bewildered on this beach. And as you stand up, you see the other three, a dwarf, a goblin, and a human. What a motley crew. But remember, it is always told that there is safety in numbers, and you have no idea where you are. Everybody, if you wish to try and decide to kind of maybe gather where you are, you could make a learning roll. So you could roll your learning, which is a percentile. And I will give everybody a minus 30 because you have no clue where the hell you are. But if you make it, we'll find out. So, and we'll try to, I don't want everybody talking over everybody because it makes it hard for everybody here. So I'm going to start with Moggins. Go ahead and make your roll.
Moggins gets a 30.
Is that a success or a failure? You want to roll equal to or under, right, Jay? For your percentages?
Yeah, equal to.
Right.
Yeah.
For your learning, his learning is I think it's a 36.
So you failed. Yeah, I don't have high faith that anybody will make this. So Big Han, please roll your learning and with a minus 30 penalty.
Okay, I rolled a 76, so that's
No.
my learning is a 60, so that's a fail.
Yeah. All right, there. Valak.
I rolled a 00 and 4.
So an ought 4. What is your learning on your character sheet? And I apologize for my horrible writing.
That's okay.
It is 10/30.
Okay, so 30. So sadly, even though you rolled so well, you failed. So your learning is a 30, but you had a 30% penalty. So nothing from nothing leaves, well, nothing.
But I'm a scout. I should have an advantage because I'm a scout, no?
Yeah, and you're a scout in a foreign land. So, but hey, you have that fish in your pocket, or no? What did you find? You found
Wooden horse.
You got that wooden horse. So it might be good kindling. You might want to keep that. Rudgar, do you even have a shot?
No, I've given up already. I have no idea where I am. That's vodka all over. He generally doesn't know where he
Right.
is.
So as you stand on the beach and you kind of all start walking towards each other and looking around, realizing again that you're in a strange land, safety in numbers. As you look, inward to the beach line, you see there's dotted caves, but you see that the mountain range is very cragged. It's very, spiky, and there's mountains in the distance, and they're pretty decent size. So you're on a fairly large island of some kind, but you have no idea where it is. But you do see there are numerous caves, and there's one big cave entrance that looks like it could provide shelter, because it does look as if your fortune couldn't shit on you any further. It does look like there is a storm coming in, and you do see lightning off in the distance. So standing on a beach soaking wet, probably not the best place to be in a heavy storm. So is it safe to assume that the party will make its way to the cave entrance?
Yeah, I think.
Yep.
Okay. So, Mr. Ranger, if you want to, make a tracking roll or anything like that to maybe see if you can find any other tracks or anything like that, survival, I guess, would be the tracking. There is a tracking roll. So, but you don't have it.
Can you explain how the skills work as well at this point?
Yeah, so you'll see at the top of the character sheet you have a U, a K, a T, an E, and an M. So, and then you'll see I've colored in certain ones. So depending on your race and your class, you're going to get certain skills. So, unknown is a negative 20%. Known is a plus 5%. So everything is based off your attributes, which are in parentheses next to the skill. So in this case, looking at the gnome, if you had to make an arcane an arcane skill, that would be off of your learning, and you would add 10%. So your learning starts at a positive 60. You would have a 70. So you would have to roll equal to or less than that, plus or minus any modifiers. I am an evil GM, so expect a lot of negative modifiers. And then, of course, it's expert and master. T stands for trained, and K is for known. So you'll have a lot of skills in the known and a couple in the trained aspect. So obviously that's good. But you can try anything that's on this list. Just be aware that you'd be trying it at the unknown rank, so you would suffer that minus 20 penalty to it. But you can try almost every skill. Obviously you're casting a spell is probably not going to work if you're not a spellcaster. But in this game, the neat thing is every class has access to magic. So your warrior can cast spells. Your thief can cast spells. Your ranger can cast spells. So it's something that if we got further into play, you could learn spell. You could learn the spellcraft. I believe it's called casting, which is off of your learning. And there is a spell list for each one of the classes, which is, I think, one of the unique things of the game. So keep that in mind for future reference. If you decide to run a game of yourself, everybody can cast magic in some way, shape, or form. So that being said, What does the ranger deduce?
All right. My roll is 82 plus
good.
5.
So remember, you want to roll equal to or less than. So
2 or less than.
yeah, you want to roll low. Rolling low is good. So what is your tracking skill?
My tracking skill is plus 5.
Well, yeah, but it's based off of your learning. So what's your learning? The total of your learning.
My learning is 30.
Right.
I should go for the biggest number, right?
Yes. Yeah, the final number at the end. So you
Okay,
failed.
so it's,
Miserably, I might
all
add.
right.
Which that's okay. That's okay. You're disoriented. You're wet. You're soggy. So you make your way into the caves. Now the problem is you can go in about 40, 50 feet, and you've still got some ambient light. But remember, there is a storm coming. It's getting darker. So does anybody have a torch, a candle, a lantern? One of the unique things about Delve is there is a mechanic built in for light. A lot of games play lip service to light, but in Delve, we don't merely give it lip service. It's a fact of life. You have no way to see. You're stumbling around in the dark. And we all know there's creepy crawly things that live in the dark and love to eat adventurers. So please don't become a snack. I believe Valak has a wooden statue.
Yeah, do I set it on fire?
I don't know. Do you? Would you?
Maybe it's worth something.
Well, but
Could we do like a search for loose debris, dead wood to craft?
Well, that is awesome that you bring that up, because being the kind and benevolent GM that I'm not, I will allow 3 rolls on the search table. So who wants to be my first guinea pig and make their first? The first roll will determine which table we'll roll on. And you have 3 choices. Normally I wouldn't tell you this, but because it's a demo game, we have barrels and crates, corpses and packs, and chest and sacks. So you roll a percentage roll, and based on what you roll will determine what chart you get to roll off of. Nasser, you're going to be Moggins. Obviously, it makes sense. The thief would be looking for loot right off the bat. All right, so first roll
Is a 13.
So that would be the barrels and crates. So go ahead and roll percentile for me one more time.
It would be a 44.
Ooh. You find, it figures for you, a barrel of rum. Which alcohol burns. I'd just like to point that out.
Morgan's takes a sip of it. He's like, "Good times coming."
Alrighty.
Carries it.
Valak, why don't you give me the second roll?
60.
60?
I rolled a 60 and a 0.
Okay. Okay. So 60. So that would be corpses and packs. So why don't you roll percentile one more time?
65.
Ooh. You find a small bag of lead shot. Do you understand what that is? It's bullets, basically, like little round balls of lead that you could put in a sling or in a musket. All right, and then Mr. Big Han, would you please roll percentile?
That'd be 45.
Ooh. 40.
Which oh yeah, this is bits and table.
Yeah. So corpses and packs again. So go ahead. Oh no, 45 is barrels and crates. So go ahead and give me one more percentile roll.
68.
68. Ooh, 5 spell scrolls. They burn.
Nice.
That's an idea.
Well, anybody here cast magic?
Spell scroll.
I think the cleric does. But anybody can cast a spell from a scroll, I believe.
Yeah.
So
What would it take to know what these scrolls do?
a learning roll, and you want to roll really well.
I would like to do that.
Go for it.
Hey, I got a 5.
Holy crap! You're making me think on the fly here. Now I got to pull up the spells. Alrighty, so you got a piece of paper handy?
Yes.
And we're just going to say I'm going to go off of the mage list. Well, you know what? We'll go off of one of each. So this is going to be the first level spell, Levitate.
Okay.
And it will cost you 6 mana points to cast it. Now, Jay, I didn't read this section. If you cast a scroll, do you have to have the mana points, or is the mana points inside the scroll? Or do you have to have... I know everybody here has mana points of some sort. So, but what's the mechanic for that? Would you have to spend your mana?
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So now you don't have the casting spell, so that might make it slightly difficult. And I believe it's a -30 if you don't... Well, yeah, it's a -20 if you don't have the skill. So that could be hard, but it could be done. You never know. Could happen. You also find... Oh, that's the wrong table. Let's see here. There we go. No, we don't want witch spells. That's no fun. Oh, I need the other book, because all the other cool spells are in the other book. So bear with me. I didn't expect anybody to get that. So
I didn't expect to get spell scrolls.
Right.
Random.
And how many? It didn't say how many, right? Just said spell scrolls, if I remember.
I thought you mentioned 5.
Okay.
I could
I
be
said
wrong.
5.
Okay, fine. So your first spell was the Levitate. Your second spell is Holy Bolt, the clerical spell. And then you will also find... Ooh, I like this. The third level rogue spell, Spider Climb, which is 7 magic points. That's 3. We got to give...
What was the mana points for the Holy Bolt?
7.
Okay, also 7. Cool.
Right? Let me make sure I didn't misspeak. Oh, 5. I'm sorry. 5 for Holy Bolt. And then I think we're going to have to do a warrior spell. And I think the first level enhance strength for 4 magic points. And then we got to do a rogue spell. Well, we got Spider Climb. Let's do another cleric spell. How about the second level Dispel Magic clerical spell? I'm being generous because you have a cleric in the group.
Appreciate it.
And that's 4 mana points to cast.
It's a pretty cool set of spells.
Yeah. And the nice thing about Dispel Magic, if it's a first level spell, it's automatically dispelled. Anything else, it becomes a little more difficult. The mana point total above indicate the cost for each level of the spell. So it just costs more per level, I'm assuming. Yeah. We'll go with that. So those are the scrolls you find. But again, they will burn. And you have no light source.
I mean, I would show the group what I have to get feedback from them. Especially since I know what they do, we can decide more easily what the best option is.
Just quickly, I misspoke. You don't use mana points when you use a scroll.
Okay, so the magic is inside the scroll. That's kind of what I thought. So then anybody can cast these for the most part, correct?
Yeah.
And then it's gone. It's gone once you cast it. The scroll would just turn into nothing. But Rudgar, as you're walking, your foot stumps into something. You look down, and buried in the sand / like hard packed dirt, because you're inside the cave now. It's become more dirt than sand. You find what appears to be a rusted short sword.
Oh, I'll pick that up. Looking very proud of myself.
Yeah, you realize that game mechanically wise, it'll do a D8 +1, and it has the bleed on it. But the more important note is it's pretty pitted and rusted. So if you get a fumble basically on your attack roll, which is bad, there's a good chance that sword will break.
Yeah. Let's hope I don't.
Yeah, so don't fumble basically. Okay, so is somebody going to try to make a torch or something?
I think Morgans will say, "Anybody have wood here? Alcohol, flammable."
And you've got scraps of clothes on you, and I'll say that you're able to pick up a couple scraps off the beach as well.
Yeah, I think that's where he's gonna try to.
Unless Valak wants to, offer up his wooden statue of his horse.
Well, how big is this wooden statue?
Well, it fit in your pocket, so it's not very big.
Yeah, but we were looking for barrels and chests. We could break some of the chests and use the wood.
Very good, very astute. Yeah, one of the barrels you did find. You found a barrel of rum. The problem is if you break the barrel, all the rum leaks out.
Yeah, so we need that rum.
You only found one barrel. Everything else was just on dead bodies. Trying to pull one over on me.
Are any of the dead bodies wearing clothing, or is there any old sort of?
I'll be nice enough and say yes. You found the one sword. You don't find any other weapons. Although you could use a piece of wood, I guess, as a makeshift club. But yes, you find enough scrap wood and scrap clothes to make 3. Or actually, Rudgar, since you were the one asking, roll a d6 and divide by 2.
Yeah, so I've got to find D6.
Or roll whatever die you have. And
3.
all right, so you find 3. You find enough materials to make 3 torches, which would be a scrap of wood and some some cloth, and you could dunk it in the rum or let it soak in the rum for a minute to give it fuel, and it would burn a little bit longer. Now, I believe a torch, you would take a D6. So who's my 3 that are carrying torches? And are you going to light all 3 torches, or are you only going to light one at a time?
I think we should light one.
Yeah,
That's very astute.
Yeah, does anybody have night vision in this? Do the goblins or the dwarf have night vision?
It'll say on your character sheet if you do, and I don't think anybody does.
No,
One of the nice things, as from a game mechanic point of view, each race that you choose, you have the option of 3 options for each race that you can roll on or choose to give you certain benefits that are that race's benefits, and they're on the back of your character sheet. So, and I did it randomly. I just rolled them up.
No, I don't think does not say anything about dark vision here.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so whoever's going first should probably carry the torch, and that I suggest that probably would be the ranger or a scout, as they've been tracking, and so they should be carrying the torch ready, because then we'll follow the light.
All right. So the ranger, what you're going to do is take a D6. You're going to set it in front of you. All right. You're going to set it on the number 6, and then every so often, I'm going to have you roll that D6, and if you roll equal to or lower than whatever's on that number is, you're good. But if you roll above, you're going to move the die down to the next. So you get a free roll on the first one. It's going to go down no matter what. So from 6, it's going to go to 5 because you can't roll you can't roll lower than a 6, right? So, or you can't roll higher than a 6. So, but then after a certain amount of time, I'm going to say roll that die again, and you're going to roll it. And you're gonna want to roll a 5 or a 6, because if you do, it'll stay on the 5. But if you don't,
Okay.
you're gonna burn it down to the next one. And then when it gets to get to a 1 after that scene, then your torch goes out, and then you're in the dark.
Okay.
You
All
don't
right.
want to be in the dark.
I have awareness, which is heightened senses to the ambushes.
Yes, you do. I just happen to have
Yeah.
your character sheet in front of me. And you have a tinker plus 10% to find items and or tools to build or repair. And all of you have at least 2 languages that you speak. You also have enemies. So what's important to remember there is if you're fighting your enemy, you get an extra d6 of damage when you're fighting. So like for the gnome, his enemies are goblins and dwarves. So if he
I
decides
really don't like this group.
it's not necessarily a matter of like at this point because it's a matter of survival, right? If the giant boar rushes out of the cave, you hope it eats the goblin before it gets to you, right? And it's funny that I would mention a giant boar that runs out of the cave because as you light the torch, you hear this and come charging out of the cave is this boar. Obviously, it's made this its nesting, and you have trespassed on its territory, and everybody knows that wild boars in the game of Delve are very territorial, and so it is going to attack. So what happens now is we all roll initiative, and if you look at your dexterity, the first number in your percentile, so in the case of the gnome it's a 30, you're going to roll a 1d10 and add the ones digit to your dexterity to that, and that's going to be your initiative. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to nominate Nasser to be the holder of the initiative. So hopefully you have paper and a pencil. And everybody's going to roll. And we're going to take turns and we're going to go around and we're going to tell Nasser what our initiative is. Does that make sense?
One more time, you're rolling our percentile or...
No, you're rolling a d10 and adding the ones digit of your dexterity to it. So if your dexterity is a 30, you're going to add a 3 to whatever you roll on the d10. Does that make sense? I will take your silence as acquiescence.
Sorry, I just had to pick something up. Yeah, we'll go.
Yeah. So what's your dexterity? Your percentage?
The first number is 10.
No, you want the final number.
Final number is 30.
All right. So your dexterity is 30%. So you'll take a roll of d10 and add 3 to it, the ones digit of the percentile. And that goes for everybody.
So 5.
Okay.
So 35?
All right. No. 3 plus whatever you rolled on the die.
Okay. Total is 8.
There you go. Got it. All right. Rudgar, what'd you get?
Oh, right. I'm done yet. I got a 10.
Ooh.
10.
So total? What's your dexterity?
Oh, no, that's total.
Oh, total. Okay. All right. Valak?
I got a total of 3 plus 6, that's a 9.
9. And then Moggins?
Morgan's is I think it says a 55, and I rolled a detail for a full natural 10, so that's a 15.
Yes, and the boar got an 8.
All right, so the boar and the gnome are the same initiative.
All right, so and I'm a kind and benevolent GM, so I will let the gnome go first.
All right.
I thought you were going to say kind and benevolent GM. I'm going to let the boar gore the gnome first.
Well, yeah, I could do that if you guys prefer, but remember, your gnome is your healer.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you want to be without a healer, that's up to you.
Yeah, we don't want him to get hurt.
No. For he is small and crunchy and goes good with ketchup. Alrighty there, gnome. What are you doing, Valak? This boar, this huge boar, it's easily close to the size of Radgar. It's huge. It's also would be good eating, bacon.
All right, the first thing I say is I take the torch and try to burn out the boar's eyes.
Doesn't Morgan go first?
Or no, Moggins, you go first, don't you?
Yeah, Morgan's should be going first.
Morgan-
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said the...
No, Morgan's goes first, and then Redgar, and then the dwarf, and gnome, and then last is the boar.
Oh, okay.
So I think Moggins looks at this large boar and he'd be like, is it possible for him to grab the barrel of rum and throw it on the
boar?
on the and on the boar
Sure.
and have break if he has the ability to do that?
Sure. You could try anything. Just make a fight roll.
What is the roll I have to do, sir?
So on your character sheet, you have the fight ability.
All right, fight ability. Where do I find it?
It's a
And the
skill.
skill, yeah.
Okay, fight. All right, fight ability. Yes.
All right.
All right.
And-
So that's okay. What is the attribute I use for that? The learning, is it?
Yeah, it should be right next to fight. It's going to say in parentheses what it is. So for
Endurance.
endurance, yes.
Endurance, yes, 33. So he has a minus on that. There's no way he's gonna get it. 96. He can't. He's not.
Ooh, that's a really bad fumble. So you go to lift the barrel up and you feel something pop in your lower back. Good. Yeah, you've strained a muscle. This should probably be left better to the fighter. Now, Jay, I have so many games in my head. I get them all confused. I thought in Delve you got 3 actions. You got a move action, a fight action, and a reaction. Yeah. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Move,
you still
fight.
say again. Say again, Dick. Yeah, move, fight.
Reacts, yeah.
Yeah, react. So you haven't used your react. Your react is obviously a reaction to something that's happening to you. So the boar is charging right at the gnome, your cleric, your healer. Obviously you want to protect them. And you had great intentions. You heaved the barrel thinking that if you could just smash it over the boar's head, you could set it on fire. Sadly, you've slipped a disc and now you're in pain. But you also have a move action. Is there anything else you wish to do? You could move.
I would probably try to get out of this thing's.
Yeah, you're able to do that. And sadly, we're doing theater of the mind. We're not doing miniatures or combat tables, so we have to be a little loose and goosey. So who's next up in the initiative? Is that Redgar? Redgar?
Yeah.
Redgar, what do you wish to do with your rusty, broken sword?
I'm gonna slash at this boar as it races past me towards the gnome. Hit it as hard as I can with my my rusty sword.
Okay.
And I have as a fighter, I'm not very good, but I have a 55% chance of doing it.
Okay, and it's running past you. It's whatever reason it does not like the look of that cleric. It's charging at the cleric. So I'm going to give you a plus 10% because it doesn't care about you.
Right, excellent. Right, so 65%. Let's hope I roll low. I've got a 45.
All right, so not a crit, but that is a solid hit. You may roll your damage.
So my damage is a D8.
Plus 1, I believe.
Yeah. Let me go find a D8. I should have all this ready.
Don't you love it when game designers come to play a game and they're not prepared? Don't you love that? Isn't that the best?
I think that's a D8. No, it's a D10.
That's it.
Talk amongst yourselves. Here you go, found it.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Hold
So-
on, be there one second.
Mojo, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see.
Hold on, I'll find one in a minute. Yeah. Closer. No, not quite.
It's the one with 2 triangles glued together.
How many dice are there?
This game uses a full set of dice, except for the D20. I don't believe players need a D20. He found one. Huzzah!
I rolled 6 damage.
6. Nice. It doesn't even flinch as you carve through the musty, tick-infested hair, and it's still charging straight for that gnome. All right.
Well, in that case, I'm going to I'm going to follow it as it goes, and so I'm behind it in my next attempt.
Roger.
I'm going to chase it off, basically, with my movement.
Right. Who's next, Moggins?
That would be the dwarf.
the dwarf.
Ooh.
All right, I
There you
take
go.
out my torch, and I try to gouge the boar's eyes with fire.
Okay, so you're going to stand there and take the charge if the boar runs into you. I like it. That's a brave dwarf. All right, so making a hit roll. Because it's charging right by you, I'm going to give you a plus 10%. So whatever your fight is, right? You're going to look at that. It's based off your endurance, I believe.
Yep.
So you'll use the percentage of your endurance, and then whatever you should be trained in fight, or perhaps known. Depends.
My target is 60.
All right. So you want to roll under 60.
I rolled a 55.
Well, you hit. And I will say for the improvised weapon, it'll be a 1d4 plus 1 point of fire damage. You unfortunately, because you didn't get a crit, you don't get it in the eyes.
I rolled a 4.
Nice.
No, a 3, a 3.
Okay. So yeah,
A total of 4.
it doesn't even register you as it keeps charging straight for that gnome. So who's up next?
I think that's me.
The gnome.
All right, gnomes. So you have this huge boar with these tusks coming out and another set of tusks coming out behind those. And it just looks very gnarly, and there's snot coming out of its nostrils as it's and it's charging at you. And it just, for whatever reason, you get the sense that this thing just doesn't like the way you look. What are you going to do? Are you going to stand there? You're going to try to die? You could use your move action to maybe get out of the way, or you could save your reaction. You could attack it or cast a spell and use your reaction to dodge out of the way. And Jay, pardon me 1 second. Jay, if I step out of line with the rules, please feel free to correct me.
Yeah,
All right.
that's fine.
Alrighty. So yeah, this boar is charging down on you, Big Han,
I think I'm going to try to cast levitate
on the boar.
on the board, because that will suspend his movement, right? Once you
Oh,
float
yeah,
up off the ground, you can't charge.
Right. I like it.
That's what I think I'm going to try to do.
Alrighty. So on your character sheet there, you do have
I do have casting.
you do, and you're going to do the scroll, correct?
Yep.
All right. So I will give you, Jay. Would you say it's fair to give him a 20% bonus because he's using a scroll?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do that, I mean, generally speaking, you shouldn't get any kind of bonus, but it's up to you. If you want to do that, do it.
I like the idea that you're a clerical and you're standing fast in the face of danger. I tell you what, I'll compromise a plus 10%.
Maybe
Okay,
it's
let's
in
give
the clouds, the break the clouds and the sun comes down and beams down on the cleric. This is about to cast.
Right. The cloud. You know.
that
1 second, but God, the cloud towards you.
I rolled 2 zeros. So it's a crit success.
Oh, that's a fumble.
That's a 100 on a D100.
Oh shoot! No, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 001 would be an aught 1, but
Yeah.
000 is a 100.
I like my way better. So I fly up into the sky, out of space, and die.
Well, I tell you what, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll a D6 for me. If you roll a 6, we'll roll again. See if
3.
you rolled a 3. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Valak, you suddenly start floating in the air, about 10 feet off the ground.
Sorry.
The boar is sharp. Now the good news, Big Han, is you still have your reaction, because I'm assuming now it's the boar's turn. Is that correct, Muggins?
Yes.
So the boar doesn't like you.
I don't particularly like the boar either. It's mutual.
I think he heard you say something about bacon, and it really offended him.
I did.
It really offended his sense of sensibility. So he is going to try to trample you. I have a 70% chance. By the way, this is a level 5 encounter for level 1 players. So
Nice.
it's very, very it's not good for you guys.
It's deadly, basically.
And he rolled a 47, so it's not a critical, but he did succeed. So he's going to attempt to trample you. Now, I do believe you have a reaction which you could use to dodge.
That is what I will try.
Yes. So,
Let's see if I don't dodge into his mouth.
and I believe you should have the dodge skill.
I do, but it's not good enough. I rolled an 83.
Oh, oof.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
Zutalor.
so I'm going to be nice. And he missed you with his tusk, but he did slam into you. So you're going to take 5 points of stun damage. Now, if you look at your character sheet, you have hit points. You're going to subtract that right off your hit points. And you're stunned, which means I don't know the exact rules on stun because I haven't read them. But I'm going to say that you probably lose your next action. That would make sense. So, with that being said, we go back to the top of the round. Now, the downside is the boar hits you and you go flying, and the boar keeps running and then stops and then spins around. And then he's going to charge at, I don't know, Rudgar, I think. But that will be at the end of the round on the boar's turn. So, top of the round, Moggins, who goes?
Moggins goes, and Moggins, I believe, can cast a spell.
Ooh.
He will try to charm the boar.
Ooh. Okay. Very well.
And I believe, what's the roll that's required for that?
It would be on your casting, or
It costs him 4
are you doing a scroll, or you're doing a spell, correct?
Yeah, that's a spell that I think it's.
Yeah, he has it. So you'll roll your casting, which is based off of your learning, and you will get probably a +10 to it. It should be marked on your sheet.
All right, I'll let you know in a sec. So, for his casting, he's not an expert in casting. He's probably going to get less, and his learn. So I have to roll really good to see if this works.
It might work.
And that is 8%.
8? Well, I'm looking at your character sheet, and you don't have the casting skill, but you can try it.
But still, yes.
Yeah, even with all the penalties, you would easily make it. So what happens with charm is, I gotta find the charm spell. That's a rogue spell.
Which book are the spells in?
They're in the Guide to Cragbaron, which is the it's just in
They're the main rule book and the companion.
Yeah, and the companion. So, but I'm looking at the rogue spells, and it's not on there, so it must be in the main rule book.
Basically, it's what you've put on the sheet. That's why I like.
Sure. I only made these at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so nice.
It's all good. It's all good. And I would say, well, yeah. I'm even going to be nice and give you double the desired effect because it makes sense. But I'm looking for. I see witches spells. The rogue spells would be in
Companion.
The companion. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one is it? Bear with me here. I'm looking at 2 different books. I don't see charm.
Charm will be. Let me just go through my PDF. I think charm will be a next spell anyway.
So I don't know. Was that an innate ability? Or I rolled on a chart, I would imagine, to give you charm. See, this is the fun of it.
Witch spell.
It's a witch spell, yeah.
It's also a witch spell. So you can charm a target with target can attempt to resist by rolling a successful empathy. Once the target will agree with whatever the caster says and will not attack them. It lasts D6 rounds.
So what do you tell the boar? because he has a 0 for empathy.
I would open up the whole barrel of rum and ask the boar to drink the whole barrel.
I'm going to give you that. So the boar just stops, this glazed look in its tiny, beady little eyes. Its bestial mind does not understand that it has just been mentally dominated by this small, hairless little goblin. And it literally stops in its tracks, and it walks over to the barrel, and it starts drinking. And it gets about halfway through the barrel, and it just falls over. It literally just it passes out from alcohol, and it just literally falls over. You can coup de grace it at your leisure. It cannot put up a fight. And I will say, huzzah to you, good sir.
Muggins will say, marinate it.
It's marinated from the inside. Well, the good news is, I would imagine that the ranger has the necessary skills and adeptness to deal with this boar. So you could stay in the mouth of the cave for a certain amount of time and clean and dress that boar and make food out of it. So I would, if you definitely could do that. You'd still be subjected to a little bit of bad weather, but you'd be okay. You got enough cover in the cave. Do you leave your torch burning or do you put it out?
Well, we light a fire if you're going to cook the beef with a pot. So get some more wood from the debris and make a little fire, I suppose, from a torch and start spit roasting this pig.
I think that's an excellent idea. So that pig, it's big enough. It's going to give everybody 2d10 worth of rations. You'll be able to make enough meat for 2d10, so you could just write that on your sheet that you have some cooked meat.
Ooh, 18.
Nice.
Would be good.
So yeah, you guys, because it was a huge boar.
18 bacon.
18 bacon. I like it, and I don't have I do have the physical book, but it's not spiral bound. But let's do this. That's the picture of the boar. So that's a big one.
Yeah.
Like gnarly tusk.
Muggins would try to see if he could use the tusks or some kind of weapon, like try to turn the tusks into weapons, or
like
something.
daggers.
Yes, daggers.
I would totally give. Why don't you give me a survival roll?
But before he does that, he will look at everybody else. He says, "Anyone know how to make weapon? I trying." He wants to see if anybody else could help with that.
Sure. Does anybody have survival?
I do not.
Crafting might work as well, actually.
Yeah, crafting.
Can
Anybody have crafting? It's a learning skill.
I have crafting, yes.
Okay.
I don't have crafting, but because I've got pretty good learning, I might be able to help.
Right.
All right.
So I'll say all three of you can do it together. I'll give you a plus 20 to your crafting skill, Muggins, and you can make a roll.
All right.
And the thing is, it's got 6 tusk. 2 would be very small daggers, like 1d4, but the other 4 tusk would be 1d6.
Does the minus, because I don't think this guy can craft. So
Okay. So if you don't have the skill, it would be a minus 20.
yeah. So I
But
already get.
I'm gonna say it's kind of moot because you've got 6 tusk that you can play with. So you could try first on the 2 smallers, and just do it and see how it works out. And if you make a roll, what I'll do is that at that point you'll get crafting at known for weapon making. So,
Okay.
Sound fair, Jay?
Yeah.
He's learning, right? He's
All
taking
right,
his first steps.
Yeah, he's failed.
Okay.
Because his learning is 36, and he rolled a 44.
Okay, so you can try again. And basically, instead of making you roll an inanely amount of times, we'll say you ruined the first 3 tusk, but after that, you're able to get 2 viable daggers. They're more for stabbing. They're not necessarily for slashing. but you're able to whittle down the bone and maybe wrap it with some cloth to make a handle. And so you've got 2 daggers that you could either keep one or give one away or whatever you want to do. And you now have crafting weapon, daggers at known. So it'll give you, for future dagger making, you would have a 5% bonus to your learning for the future. See, I'm kind and benevolent, are I not?
Also, if anybody can craft anything from the thing's hair or weaving it, you could make a sling.
Yeah.
I'll try
Got
to
some
do
lead
that.
balls.
Ooh.
And
So Big Han, you're going to try to make a sling? Why don't you? You've got
Yeah.
plenty of hair, I mean,
I do.
You do.
Both myself and from the boar.
Right.
Does, in this case, the tinker skill apply?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I didn't realize I had that. So I will try to...
Yeah, everybody has a little something on the back of their character sheet. May not be the greatest, but it's better than nothing.
Okay, I rolled a 49, which is a success.
Awesome. So now you have a sling, and I believe Valak found some lead shot, did he not?
Yep, I got the lead shots, yes.
So, in the spirit of cooperation and whatever, that big word starts with a C, camaraderie, would you give the lead shot to the gnome?
Yes, definitely.
Oh.
And I will try to use the leather to make some leather armor.
Well, that's a little bit above your guys' ability right now. You'd have to cure and tan that leather, which would take weeks. And you kind of, you're out here. There's a storm coming. You have no other source of food except for your bacon, which is going to eventually run out. And you're exposed to the elements and whatever else might be at the mouth of this cave. You don't know.
Would it be worth it to at least grab a chunk of this fur, this pelt?
Sure.
Or like multi-purpose, blanket.
Blanket or something like you said.
Yeah. Well, again, making a blanket out of a freshly killed boar that hasn't had time to cure and be cleaned properly and tanned, you wouldn't want to sleep in that. Let me put it that way.
maybe
But
we could hang it over the mouth of the cave to stop most of the wind coming through.
that could definitely try that. And the hair would be enough that you could probably make. I would say there's enough hair that you could make a good 10 feet of rope if someone was to spend the time to braid it all together. It would take time, but you could do it. So I guess we're going to assume that you would stay here for a couple of days.
Well, until the weather changes, I guess.
Yeah. So the weather is pretty bad. There is a storm. One of the things you notice when you look out onto the water from the mouth of the cave, you see that for as far as you can see, if you look left and you look right, for this expanse of water, about 100 yards out on the water, there is this dense fog that has not gone away. It just like hovers there, and you can't see. Obviously, you can't see through it. You don't remember seeing it yesterday when you were, in your revelry, but now that you've taken some time to kind of look around while people are doing the various things that they want to do, you can see that there is this dense fog, and through the course of the next couple of days, it doesn't go away. The storm has come and gone. You guys have actually, everyone can give me an endurance roll. I'll give everybody a plus 10% because you've got the boar hide up there. Well, let's see if the weather gets to anybody. You want to
Nice.
roll equal to or less than?
25, so success for the gnome.
Rudgar?
59.
I think I failed.
15.
64.
Success? 64. So Moggins, you catch a cold.
All right.
You got the shivers and the snivels. What about Valak? Did Valak succeed?
I got 12.
Oh, Valak's like, weather, whatever. Moggins has got the sniffles and a cold. Yeah.
Would first aid apply for... I think first aid is just for like injuries and stuff like that, but could it be assistantly used for treating the common cold?
It could. I would allow it.
I'll try it. I suppose... grab anything around any herbs I saw and try to administer cold procedures. Oh, nice. 28. So that's a success.
Excellent. So yeah, it seems he takes some of the seawater and he boils it and adds some seaweeds and maybe a couple little odds and ends you probably don't want to know what they are, but he has you drink it. He has you drink it, and strangely enough, by the next morning you feel better. So you're at no penalties. And I don't think did anybody get hurt?
I did.
You did. So
I took that 5 damage.
yeah. So it doesn't say anything that you can't heal yourself. So if you wanted to use your clerical powers to heal yourself, you could.
When do those powers, those mana points, regenerate?
When you get 8 hours of rest or you meditate.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I would say over the course of 3 days, you've had plenty of time to recuperate, so to speak. So if you wanted to, heal yourself with your faith, you could and get those mana points back.
You also have healing potions as well, don't you?
We have 2 healing potions amongst the party as well. I think Moggins has one and Valak has one.
Yeah.
No, I got the ring.
Oh, you got the.
I got one.
Ooh, that's right. You got one. So.
Yep. So I mean, if we got the time, I think I would just heal myself, save the potions for a dire situation.
I think that's an excellent idea. And then for that ring, you guys don't really have a mage in the group, but I'm going to say that you spend enough time and you play around that
I have arcane if you want a roll, actually.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll give it to you. You realize that give me an arcane roll, and I'll give you a plus 10% because this appears to be some sort of ring of the clergy.
I got a 0 for the 10s.
Ooh.
And a 5 for the 1s.
So a 50.
That's 5, right?
Yeah, that's ought 5. Or did you get 5-0?
No, it was 0-5.
Like-
it was 5.
Like my D10 has a 10
A 20?
and a 1.
Oh, okay.
So that's how my D10 is set up.
Right.
So isn't like when the 10s die rolls a 10, that's 100. When the 0 on the 10 rolls, isn't that a 0?
Well, you should have 2 D10s, and you just
No,
would
yeah.
nominate the ones
but
digit.
Mine actually is indicated on it. 10s, like 20, 30, 80,
Oh, okay.
60.
Yeah. So if that's
that
a 0,
one-
0, that's 0, 0.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah,
then if you roll a 10 on the other die, that's considered a 0 as well. So that would be 100 because there's no other way to roll it to dominate that it's a 100. Because a 0, 0 on the percentile die and then a 1 on the 10s die would be an ought 1 or 1. So yeah. So what did you roll? A 50?
Well,
No, ought 5. Ought 5. Yeah. Oh, well, excellent. You find that is a ring of holy bolts. And
what about the nuts?
Well, that's what the ring's made out of.
Okay.
If you roll a d6 for me, please.
The owner of the ring or the inquirer of the ring?
The owner of the ring.
Okay. So that
Or the inquirer of the ring. I'm sorry, you.
Okay.
Because you're the one trying to determine what the ring is.
Yeah. I rolled a 5.
You rolled a 5. So it's got 3 charges in it before it has to recharge, so to speak. And it takes 24 hours for it to recharge.
It was called the Holy
Holy
Bolts.
Bolt.
Ring of
Holy Bolt
Bolts.
2, technically. It's pretty powerful. It would normally cost 8 mana points, but it's stored in the ring, which is why it only has 3 charges. And you can cast a Holy Bolt of energy towards the target. Bolt does no damage against good targets and 3d6 damage against evil ones. So that's pretty solid. Jay's
Right,
games are
so-
deadly if nobody's figured that out yet.
So I give the ring to the cleric and I tell him, use this to protect yourself next time.
There you go. That is quite a generous gift.
Very generous.
Yeah.
I take it with great respect and appreciation.
Excellent. So Go ahead, Nasser.
The Morgan seeing this act of kindness, he's like, I think in his mind he thinks these are good folks.
I'm going to shank
gonna
that
put
one
on a-
first.
He's gonna give the dagger to basically to Valak. He's got one of the daggers he's made.
Okay, so now you have a dagger, Valak, and your dagger
Wonderful.
does 1d6 plus 1 damage.
For protection.
Thank you,
And
dear friend.
who's our front guy? Our melee guy.
That'd be Rudgar Ironblade.
I will hand him the healing potion in case he needs it, because he'll be in front lines. And as far as lockpick use is concerned, I don't think my character has any in skill use for it. Are these expendable, or are these last forever? Is it like a lockpick set, or is it just a single lockpick, Skyrim style?
I would
snaps if you-
envision it to be a
Yeah,
single
if you fumble, it
lockpick.
breaks.
Yeah.
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 In that case, I'll probably give my lockpick to the our goblin as well. So we should have 2 lockpicks, and our Rudgar should have a potion of healing now.
there we go. Excellent. So
Okay.
with every
Mr.
being
Bean's frozen in mid-drink.
That's a coffee ad.
yeah. It is a coffee ad.
Yeah, you're gonna see Starbucks come in a bit.
no Starbucks
That's
for
one
this guy.
long sip.
Yeah.
With a beard this glorious, you have to drink. Oh, we lost everybody.
I like how it's well thought out.
Thanks. Yeah. It's I try and make it as entertaining as possible. I really do enjoy it.
I think it's a fun little game. I really do, because it does. Like most of Jay's games, except for Black Iron, this one doesn't take itself too serious. There's humor built into it if you read between the lines, at least for me. And that may just be the way I interpret it. I don't know if Jay meant it to be that way, but I just think it's a cool little game. It's dark enough that it appeals to me, but yet I can find the humor in it. And maybe that's just because I'm twisted. But so you guys have about 3 days in the cave. The storm has passed. I will allow you, if you want to make another go at combing the beach before you head into the caves, because you all realize that you can't. Say again.
Please.
All
We
right.
need off the beach, don't we? We need to get off this beach, I think.
Yeah. Getting it
See
deeper
what's
in.
further in the island
Right.
city or something.
So I tell you what, Rudgar, since you've spoken up. I will give you the first D100 roll to see what you can find.
Me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Okay, so that's a 67.
So
67.
corpses in packs. So you can roll percentile one more time for me, please.
And that's a 54.
Ooh. I always like to make it sound like you found something really good, and then I just give you shite. and,
Dry sand.
and true to form, you find a dead stowaway in a barrel.
Talk about a bad day.
I didn't make up this chart, guys. He rolled it. You guys are my witness. That's right. Yeah, Jay, you made this. It's your own fault. Valak, why don't you give me the second roll, Valak?
I rolled a 79.
Excellent. Corpses in packs as well. One more percentile, please.
92.
Ooh. That means you have found a small little doll, a children's toy.
What's with me and the toys?
I know, right? Perv. All right there, Big Han. The last roll.
Okay.
You want to roll high.
52.
That is not high enough.
Nope.
Corpses in packs. Roll again.
My favorite. It's a total of a 9.
Hot 9. Ooh. Would you roll a d6 for me, sir?
I would. A 4.
as you see a barrel. Or actually, it's more like a crate, and it's kind of busted open. You see some straw, and then as you crack the lid open, you find 4 swords.
Ooh. Ah.
Real swords, not rusted and pitted either.
Okay. Well, we 4 people, so we each get a sword.
There you go.
Unless somebody wants to dual wield, in which case I wouldn't mind giving mine over.
Well, I've already got a rusted sword, and I can dual wield, so I'll take the sword as well. So I'll have 2 swords.
Right.
I mean, you could take both good swords if you want 2 good swords.
Oh, okay. I don't mind the rusted
So
one, but,
what the gnome is saying is he's not any good with a sword.
I don't want to use a sword.
okay,
If
yeah, I'll
I
take
don't, yeah.
All right, so the fighter, Rudgar, has 2 swords. Do you give the rusted sword to the gnome?
only if he wants it. If he doesn't want it, I'm quite happy to carry it
Right.
with me in case I need it. But I'm happy to hand it over to the to a
I'll
gnome.
take it as a last ditch option, at least to have a weapon, because you'll be dual wielding. The other 2 have the option to have good swords.
I like it.
Yeah.
And you guys are so
Okay.
nice to each other, man. Can I trade you guys in for my current group? Because they'll backstab the shit out of each other. In a heartbeat. They wouldn't waste any time. All right, so that was your 3 more rolls on the nice part about this game too is depending on how the GM wants to run it, like you could spend an extended period of time on the beach and the GM could allow you every day to roll if you wanted to, if you were spending a bulk of the day to go look for what's on the beach. So, and as you can see, there is a varied assortment of lovely items available. So Jay, well done on the list, sir. I didn't want anybody to get the impression that this was just a chart game, because it's not. It's not. It's just there are these random charts for what part of the game. The emphasis of this game is waking up on a beach. That's how the story starts for every player. And so I think, if I can paraphrase, Jay wanted to really set home the feeling of you have nothing and you're looking for anything that can help you survive. So I think that's a job well done on your part, Jay. So awesome. So it's been 3 days. You've combed the beach. You've found as much gear as you think you can find. It is time to venture forth. I will say... Oh, go ahead.
Can I do one last... I was wondering about that stowaway in the barrel.
Yes.
I mean, I think I would check to see if there's any identification.
Well, driver's licenses really aren't a thing.
Oh, like a signet.
Yes, you do. You find
of that nature.
a necklace that is what do they call them? Where they open up a clasp, a locket.
Yeah.
You find a locket, and there's a picture of a beautiful woman, very, very well painted. And on the other side of the locket, it says, "To my beloved James."
Okay. I mean, I would grab that, at least for now.
Loot the corpses, right? I get it.
Yeah.
do these swords still do D8 plus 1 damage?
Yeah, the swords are all D8 plus 1. The daggers are D6 plus 1. And I don't know if that's canon, but I'm making it up. It sounds good.
Yeah. Well,
There is a weapons chart, though. There is equipment in the book. It is a full-featured book. There is everything you need in here. You don't necessarily have to buy the companion book, but it is very, very helpful. And I dare say you should buy it. So would Jay.
Very, very nice game.
Yeah. So, all right. It's the morning of the 4th day. I'm going to say, bear with me. You're able also on your time on the beach, you're able to find enough accoutrements to make 2 more torches. So the 1 torch you had is probably burnt out and of no use now. So you have, I think, a total of 4 torches now.
Question: the bones on the
Boar?
rib cage of that boar, if we broke them off and wrapped some cloth on them, would that be more torches?
It could. Is that what you want to do?
I think that's having more torches.
Yeah.
Forward is much better.
You're able to get 3 more torches out of it. So you guys should have a total of 7 torches. So everybody could roughly, 3 of you could carry 2 and 1 of you could carry 1.
I think I'll keep one with me.
All right. So like I said, it's the start of the 4th day. You've combed the beach. You're getting restless. There's got to be more to this island than just this sand flea infested beach. So you head into the caverns. Insert ominous music here. What's the marching order?
I think who
The
can
gnome would be
I'm in the rear probably, unless we have a vanguard right behind me. But rear or middle?
I mean, I'll go after. I mean, presumably. Oh well, I presume the scout would go first because obviously we need his skills for tracking and checking for traps and
Right.
stuff.
So
So I'll go after the scout.
So Valak, as our resident scout, you will have your torch, and you'll be first, and second will be Rudgar, and in Moggins you would be third, or would you put the cleric in front of you?
Yeah, I think Moggins will try to be stealthy.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want he wants to surprise anything if it comes at them.
Okay.
Like
So are you saying you want to go you want to scout ahead, or you want to stay in the rear?
I think he'll stay. He'll probably go scout ahead.
Okay. So and you can maybe stay in visual range of Valak, so that you guys could kind of communicate with your hands or whatever, like kind of, don't go too far ahead of me.
Yeah. Is it possible for him to to be stealthy while he's doing it?
For Moggins?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You can try to be stealthy. Remember, you can try anything in this game.
All right. So
Make me a stealth check.
that would be a dexterity. So
Yes.
yeah,
He's
he's
a
gonna
stealth
roll. Yeah, that's 55, and he gets a +5 on his 50. So yeah, he's a total of 60. He's
So you
rolled
made it.
under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're being stealthy. While you're kind of in the darkness. You're just at the edge of the torchlight. Valak, I'll need you to take that D6 again and put it on a 6 in front of you, because the torches do have an expiration date. Not like my taxes. So Moggins, you're creeping around and you think you hear something moving ahead in the darkness.
Moggins will do this like gesture with his hand, like stop to everybody, and he will point forward that there's something in, like try to
Look,
convey that message.
Look, Valak, Moggins is waving at you.
He points in front of him, and then he pulls out his dagger, showing everybody that, like, hey, I just pulled out the dagger. That
Possibly the shit's about to hit the fan. Kind of one of those.
All right. I signal the same signals to the people behind me, and now we have stopped.
Okay. Well, it's a good thing that you're a goblin, because you are small. And as you're in there in the darkness, and you're looking around, and it's really hard. The caves, the walls are irregular. You're from this kind of environment, so you kind of know what to look out for. But you hear, and then something comes flying out of the dark.
Is it possible for me to react to it?
I will give you a reaction, but first I have to see if I can hit you. An arrow shatters off the wall next to you, and then you see these 3 what you would call brigands or bandits, lightly clothed, dirty looking, and they're like nasty teeth, one's bald, one's got like some tattoos all over his face, and they're like, run! They come charging out at you. We shall go into initiative, because one of them had a bow and he failed to hit anything. So again, initiative is your tens digit of your dexterity plus a 1d10. Ooh.
Are they trolls? Because I have more damage against trolls.
No, they are humans. They are bandits, as far as you can tell. Or they're really short trolls. You're not sure. So, Moggins, you'll be my
13.
initiative. You got a what?
13.
13 for Rudgar.
So I rolled a 10.
I got a 14 for the bandits.
I have some cool Cthulhu dice, which is got a Cthulhu for the 10.
Nice.
All right. So, who else is on the initiative?
I have an 8.
8. So you go 8. Okay. What is Valek's initiative, Mojo?
Puts me at 8 also.
All right. So. And I think these guys go first.
Yeah, they got a 14.
Ah.
So you hear the arrow, and it shatters on the wall next to you because it hits stone, and you hear shit, and you hear like something light hit the ground, and then you see these 3 bandits come running out. One's got like a meat hook in his hand, so basically the equivalent of a dagger, and then the other 2 have like these makeshift looking shivs or daggers, and they're very dirty. They don't have much on them, and they just look mean. Let's just leave it at that. And the first one is going to, because you are the closest, Moggins, 2 of them are going to attack you, and then one is going to run past you. Now, is it fair to say that he could use his reaction to attack that one if he wanted to, Jay?
Yeah, he wants to, yeah.
Yeah, so if you wanted to do that, or you could save your reaction to try and parry or dodge an attack. It's up to you. But it's the one running past you is...
All right. So here's what... Is it possible to do this? As this guy is running, Moggins would jump on him and grab onto him so he can take him out of those guys' threat.
I will give that to you. Yes, I would say go ahead and make a dexterity check for me.
All right. So...
Because you're small and lithe and nimbly. Yeah. Nimbly is a word, by golly.
If he has acrobatics or athletics, he could add that as well. If he's
yes.
There are no acrobatics, except no.
Yeah, you have it. You have it at trained acrobatics, so you get a +10. You're playing the goblin, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that would be a 65% chance.
46.
You succeed. So you jump on this bandit's back, and he's like, he's screaming. Now, first it was a scream of, I'm going to eat your face, and now it's a scream of, oh my God, get it off me, get it off me. He's freaking out because, goblins don't have the greatest reputation for being clean and sanitary. So.
And then Hopkins will say it in his ears, get ready, we're having fun.
Oh shit, somebody save me. All right, so that will be that's bandit number 1's turn as he's running. Bandit number 2 was going to swing at 2 and 3 were going to swing at you, but you're no longer there, so they're going to spend their action to move closer to the group. So they are done. So now we will go to whoever's next in the initiative round.
That would be Redgar.
Redgar.
Okay, so do I see what's happening?
Yeah, pretty much you see the goblin, the 3 bandits run out of the shadows, and one of them is ahead of the pack, and he's at you now. You could engage him in melee if you so choose. But the weird part is at first, the light was so far away and it was distorted, and you thought he was bigger, like maybe it might be some sort of troll or something, but you realize, no, there's a goblin on his back. And then you go, wait, I know that goblin.
Well, is there a way for me to, in that case, move past the first guy, who the goblin's now riding, and use some kind of, I'm going to use some sort of barbarian yell, not a barbarian yell, but a fighter kind of yell, and rage at the other 2 coming at me and basically hacking?
Yes, you can totally do that. So you use your move action, you run up to the other 2. Are you going to swipe at both of them?
I'm going to swipe at both of them, yeah. I've got a dual wield, so I'm going to swipe one sword at one and one at the other.
Go for it.
So, my fight skill, I don't get any penalties for this either, which is awesome.
Right. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Don't ask him to read a scroll, though.
That's a 23. So the first one's a hit.
Okay.
And the second one's, that's a 28. So that's a hit. So they're both hit.
So they both hit. So now I can attempt to dodge, but if I roll equal to or above what his attack was, then I don't dodge. I have to roll lower than his. So, and you rolled a 28 and a 53?
No, a 28 and a 23.
Oh, okay. So these guys have a 60% to dodge. So they're actually, these bandits are no joke. But unfortunately, that will not get it at a 91. So, and the second one also fails, but not by much. But he did fail. So you may do your full damage, sir. If I would have succeeded on my dodge, he would have missed. Because they would have successfully dodged. But unfortunately, I did not. But
So the first one takes 2 points of damage.
oh, geez.
And the second one takes 8 points of damage.
Oh, nice.
So one's a glancing blow and the other one's a severe hack.
So 2 points to one
And,
and
8
8 points to the other. Nice. So yeah, a solid slash across the chest of the big one that was on your left. So you did 8 points to him, and then the one on your right, he kind of slides out of the way a little bit. And you catch him on the upper thigh, a nice little gash, and he lets out a yelp. So next in the initiative,
That would be Moggins. Moggins takes his dagger, places it on that guy's throat, and he say, "You drop weapon, or you goodbye."
now let's see if there's an intimidation factor here.
And then you add, "Big man gonna kill your friends."
Big man gonna kill you. I'm gonna say you smell the faint smell of urine. It's kind of fresh, and he drops his meat hook and he falls to his knees and he says, "Please, my lord, don't kill me." The fact that he's calling you my lord tells you that he's probably shitting in his pants.
"My lord."
So you hold your dagger at his throat to kind of take him out of the action. Okay.
Muggins is not gonna kill him at that moment because this guy's just.
Yeah, he's just trying. It's easier to take than to earn. That's why there's a lot of bandits.
We stole their bacon, didn't we, as well?
That's right. That was Fluffy. You killed Fluffy. It was my pet pig. I loved Fluffy.
Muggins being Muggins, he's gonna try to keep this guy alive because he wants the information about this.
Oh, excellent. Good job. Alrighty, so who's next? The initiative, Muggins. Who's next?
Initiative, that would be Valak. That is your turn. And last is the gnome. So,
Okay.
They both have the same initiative, at 8. So I don't know which one is going to go first. between
Yeah,
them.
whoever, you guys can either decide or we can default to the highest dexterity.
I'll go first because I'm next in line, right?
There you go. Makes sense. What do you do?
Alright, so I charge at the one that is deeply wounded because I want to finish him off.
Okay. So you charge at him. So that's your movement action. And then for your fight action, you're going to take a swing at him. So you have your short sword and you swing at him. So he's already used his reaction because you only get one. Is that correct, Jay?
Yep.
So he's already used his reaction. So in essence, you have a free attack on him because he cannot dodge out of the way. So swing.
So I should beat a 60,
Oh no, you want to roll under.
and I rolled a 39.
So totally, you hit him. Go ahead and roll your damage. 1d8 plus 1.
I rolled a 7.
Nice. He's hurting. You slash again. He's got a big X on his chest now. Once from Rudgar and now one from you. And he's like, "Ugh!" And he looks at you and he goes, "I'm going to get you for that." And he looks very mean, but he's bleeding profusely from his chest, but he's still up. He looks very angry. You notice he's missing his two front teeth, so everything has a slight lisp when he talks. So I'm going to get you for that.
And I know he has
Why
an English
does he
accent.
have an Irish accent?
Yes. All right. So who's next? Oh, it would be the gnome.
Yep. So these three, are they like markedly different? They look the same, or is like one obviously looking
The
like
leader
boss?
is the bigger of the three, and he's the one that has a goblin on his back. He is since, as you see, as he comes into your viewable range because of the torch, he drops to his knees. He's dropped the rusted meat hook that he was using as a weapon, and the goblin, you can see, is maniacally whispering in his ear with that antler dagger to his throat. You can't hear what he's saying, but the goblin is just smiling from ear to ear, and the human looks like he has urinated on himself. But the other two are in combat. One is running up behind Rudgar, and the other one is, well, actually they're both in combat with Rudgar, but Valak has ran up to the one on Rudgar's left and has slashed him on the chest as well. So there's one that looks pretty hurt, and the other one is got a slight limp because he got a good cut on his thigh. But other than that, he looks no worse for wear.
Okay. I will just realize I don't have actually the range stat in my block. So that sling actually is going to go to somebody else later.
Yeah, but you have that awesome ring.
I do. You said it recharges one charge a day?
No, every day the charges come back.
Oh, all of it?
Yeah.
Oh. In that case, I will use one charge to the already weakened one, hopefully take him out of his misery in one go.
Okay.
So I do a casting roll, I presume? Or is this one of those
Well,
just you nodded?
Yeah. Jay's nodding his head yes, so.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't cost any points though, but you do a casting roll.
Yeah.
Okay, I rolled an 86. I don't think that's enough because my threshold is 70.
Oh,
This
rats.
second page, yeah, nope.
And I don't believe in the game there's any kind of mechanic like a hero point or anything, correct, Jay? There's nothing? No, it's a pretty brutal game. So you missed, buddy.
Yep.
All right. So are you going to stand your ground there? Are you going to move or anything?
I mean, if there was something to kind of hide behind, get like a cover of some kind, I would.
I would say that you can
otherwise-
find that. I would give you that.
Yeah, that's what I moved to.
Yeah, all right. So then, top of the round, the bandits again. The one that you're holding is like, right. No, you'll get no more fluff from me, me lord. You know, he's totally acquiesced to your power. Obviously, it might have something to do with a dagger at his throat, but you know, and you're still on his back, I assume.
Can I talk to him?
Sure. Talking's a free action.
I will say, you tell friends, stop fighting.
All right. So he's like, you lot, stop fighting. Put him down. And they both look. The one guy who's got the big X on his chest feels like a bad Zorro movie. He immediately drops his sword. He wants no more of this. The other guy, though, he's not so willing to do it. So he takes a swing at Rudgar because he either he's not very bright or he's just pissed off. And I rolled a 56, and I believe I have to get back to that page. The bandits. Oh no, I missed. Oh no, I hit. I hit. Only a 4% margin or 0.4% margin, but I hit. But you have a reaction, Rudgar.
I do, yeah. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to dodge, but I'm going to parry.
All right.
In my dodge. So I'm going to attempt to parry this with a 56. So a 50. 57. So I missed it by 1 point.
Missed it, boy, that much.
Wait a minute, I'll just quickly write in hero points in my game.
Yeah. That sounds like an excellent idea, John. Thanks for that.
I can do that, it's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have hero points now.
And I've got the first one. Well, you know, that will come in the rewrite since it's not in print and I don't have it. It doesn't exist at this point in time. So sadly, he is going to strike you. If I could roll the dice. Oh, and he rolls an 8 with a +1 is 9 points of damage. And you are now bleeding.
Oh.
And I would have to look up what bleeding does, but I know it's not good. Isn't it an extra point of damage every round?
Extra point around, yeah, every round.
Automatically.
Yeah.
Until it gets bound or whatever.
Yeah.
By the way, guys, the art in this book is phenomenal. This is my favorite picture.
Nice.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, that's a witch. So you can play a witch spellcaster in this book. And she just gives me the heebie-jeebies. She's creepy, but sexy creepy. So the art is phenomenal in the book. So that one's not stopping the fight. Next, I think, is Rudgar. You're up, right?
Yeah. So I'm going to get my hit back.
Yeah, he tagged you good, man. With a very rusty sword, too, by the way. You're pretty sure that if you don't get that thing treated, it's going to get infected.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Well, I'm going to basically hit him twice.
No.
Yeah, well, he's going to get it.
I hope he fumbles.
50... So that's a hit.
All right.
One is a 37, so they both hit.
All right. So rules mechanic question, because you have dual attack, now he still has his reaction because he hasn't used it, but he could probably only dodge and or parry. He can't even parry, right, unless he has it? Can he parry?
If he's got with a melee weapon. So if he's got a fight skill, he can still parry with that fight skill. So
but I could only do... Or it's one or the other, right?
Only against one attack, yeah.
So, and they're both... Say again?
They both hit, so he can attempt to either parry one or dodge one.
All right.
I mean, with a dodge, you could actually attempt to parry both, dodge both attacks.
Right. Now,
he'll be at minus to do that, I guess.
Right. So his fight is a 60, and his dexterity is a 45. So it would behoove him to use his fight, his parry, right? Right. Because that would be the better percentage. So
that would be a better option.
But I still have to roll lower than what you rolled.
Yeah. So he'd be best going for the 50 rather than the 37, right?
Well, either way, I rolled a 28, so I'm good against either one of them.
Yeah, so he's basically parry one of the attacks.
Right, so you can roll your damage for one of them, and 1d8 plus 1.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to go the whole hog, you can actually do the hit points for the weapon as well. So by him parrying my attack, he's actually damaged his weapon, so his weapon will take some damage.
As a matter of fact, as he throws his sword up, he obviously has a medium of skill with the sword, and he throws it up, but your sword actually cleaves right through it, and you hear that tink as its sword snaps, and now he's got a dagger.
So I do 9 points of damage back on him.
Ooh. Yeah, he's hurting, and just as a visual, that is what the bandits look. Oh,
that's a ball.
Yeah, that's what your bandits look like. So you can kind of get an image. I like I said, I like the imagery of the game. It's on that cartoony aspect, but I think it works for the flavor. So you have successfully stabbed him. You have a move action, and I assume you'll hold your reaction. So anything else from you?
No.
All right. Next up, I think, is Valak.
That would be I think next is Moggins.
Oh, Moggins, yes, because you talk. That's all. That's a freebie. What do you wish to do?
I think Moggins will keep that guy under his.
All right. Yeah, he's visibly shaking, and he's like screaming at the other guy. He's like, "Roy, Davey, stop!" And Davey's not stopping.
Does he see that there's only one guy with a weapon?
Who? The one that's still fighting?
Because one guy dropped the other guy dropped his weapon.
Yes. And he's at the...
Yeah,
he's not stopping.
Yeah, this guy's not stopping, so he'll just continue then to...
Right. Smart move. Very, very, very well played, sir. So who's up after you? Is Valak?
That would be Valak, yes.
Yep. What are you doing, sir?
All right, I slash at the one that is not giving up.
Okay. And he can't parry or dodge because he used his reaction already.
And I rolled a 31.
That is a hit. You may roll your damage. 1d8 plus 1.
I rolled 7 again.
Nice.
So that's 7 plus 1, that's an 8, right?
Yep. Oh, you did 8 points. Ouch. Yeah, at that point, he drops his sword. Mercy! Mercy! You know, the bloodlust has left him, only because most of his blood has left him. And he drops his sword. He says, mercy! Mercy! And he drops it, so we are out of combat, unless the gnome wishes to do something. The gnome stabs him in the throat.
I'm just thinking of whether or not I should use my ring to just kill off this pesky goblin. I'm just kidding.
Wow! I gotta say, man, you gotta give some kudo to the goblin. He kind of diffused the fight.
It's listed in my thing. I hate goblins.
Yeah. So you just kind of stand there and watch and see what transpires.
Yeah, right now. I mean, actually, no. Within my turn, I would walk up to our bleeding fellow. And would this require the use of cure wounds?
Yes, it would.
Or okay.
Yeah,
then I would expend the use.
Yeah,
So
he is severely hurt.
Unfortunately, I only rolled a 2, so that's 2 health, but the bleeding stops, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and that was on Rudgar, right?
Yeah.
That's better than nothing, right, Rudgar?
Yeah, it stops the bleeding. I was about to lose another hit point, so that's good.
Yeah.
And as long as they're being peaceful, just sometime I would try to apply first aid to those injured.
Okay.
So on the opposite side, but I'm imagining there's going to be a discussion or interrogation at this point.
All right. So yeah. So basically, you managed to kick their weapons away. You've kind of staunched the bleeding of Rudgar. So what, Moggins? It's kind of in your ball court because you've got a dagger to the throat of the leader.
Moggins will kind of lead this guy. He's got the dagger. He's gonna like stand him up, but put the dagger on his throat. He'll lead him, and sit him down, and then he will call, and then call for the others to be brought next to him.
Okay. The bandits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give no resistance. One of them is pretty much almost passed out from loss of blood. The other one looks okay. He's dinged up a little bit, but yeah, they're compliant. They don't give you any grief.
And then he will call for basically Rudgar and the rest of the party to come join him.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna, everybody come. We have a question.
And we go.
Yeah.
And then, what this place? He asks.
He goes, "He's the leader." He's kind of got a snarly voice. I'm not going to do it because it's a strain on my voice, but he's like, "This is Cragbairn. Well, it's the island, but deeper in the caves is Cragbairn, the city of Cragbairn."
There's city here.
Well, yeah. It's almost like, what do you mean? There's a city? Of course, there's a city here. Yeah.
He kind of smiles. Good times then.
Yes. Well, for some, if they like you, they don't like us.
Me lord.
He looks at you and like, you little shit. But he acquiesces and says, "Me lord."
And then he's gonna like give anybody else a chance to ask the question. These guys.
Yeah. They're at your whim. You guys have weapons, they don't, and they're pretty beat up. So, you know, what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, how far away is the city?
Well, it's a ways into the caves here. You see, you wouldn't make it far without a guide. And he kind of smiles. He goes, "For a small fee, I could be your guide."
Yeah. Then I'm gonna try to do a Russian accent just from here on out when I'm doing in character. But with that, I'd be like, I look to the group and I ask the question: "Do you think we need 3 guides?"
So the most bloodthirsty cleric I've ever met.
No, you probably don't need 3 guys.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, look
I'm
at
just
it.
saying.
So the leader goes, right, you don't need 3, and he's pretty banged up. I'd end him now. He'd be trouble in the past. He goes, I'll do it for you. Give me my dagger back.
And
What sort of price are you requesting for your services?
You can see there's a gleam in his eyes. You know, obviously these guys live on literally nothing, right? They're bandits. They're the lowest of the low. You know, even the goblins look down on them. And he's like, just fair passage and or safe passage and maybe some rations or some meat to torture too if you could spare it. I'm sorry, we didn't realize you were lords, and we're just trying to make ends meet, me and me lads. Well, what's left of him. And he looks to the one guy that's kind of bleeding out. He's got 5 hit points. Actually, he's down to 3 hit points now. So if he doesn't get some healing, he will die.
I'll apply first aid right now, and the rest can talk a little bit more. But as they're talking, I'm doing first aid
Okay.
on the really
All
injured
right.
guy.
So you're able to stop him. He won't bleed out, but he's looking very pale and not too healthy. But he will survive, hopefully. He's like, well, the leader is still talking. He's like, right, these other 2 blokes, they're worthless. I know these caves like the back of my hand.
you work for me now.
Yes, me lord. He goes, yes, and then he looks at you and he goes, me lord. I'll guard your life with me life.
All right. So first things first. We don't need these 2. They can stay here, but you come with us and show us where the city is.
Right. You heard the boss. You lads, you're out. Fend for yourselves. He goes, right, me lord, this way. And he leads you. And it is, we are 2.5 hours into it. So we will safely say that you wander through the caves a little bit and you find the city of Cragbaron. And your further adventures would wait. And the nice thing about this is Jay goes into explaining the city in pretty good detail. There's a blacksmith. It's very much a barter system. Money here doesn't mean a whole lot because there is no... It's literally supply and demand and trade because money doesn't do them any good. There's nowhere to go with it. You know, so it's, you know, if you're a tanner or like, you know, you're a smith, you can make a living for yourself here because everything needs to be repaired constantly because resources are so slim. And the game even goes into telling you what, you know, what this weapon or what this armor provides as far as resources go, and that's how you barter. So that's your economy as a barter system. So it's very, I think it's really cool myself. But that is Delve in a nutshell. I hope it gave you a taste of the system and
I love it.
a little bit of the setting. Yeah, it's a very simple system, but it's got enough depth that you can do things. And we got a little bit of magic in, although unfortunately the cleric didn't roll the best. But hey, but yeah, that's Delve, guys. What'd you think?
Pretty
Love
good.
it.
Can you tell us more about the story, or would that be a spoiler and you don't want
No,
to
that was
spoil it?
completely made up. I pulled that out of my ass, as the old saying goes, the American saying goes. I just off the cuff of my head, I love the intro to the game because it literally says you wake up on a beach and what you have in your pockets is now you get to roll dice and you roll 3 times on this chart, and you guys did that. You know, even though I made the characters and I apologize for the horrible handwriting, but yeah, you literally wake up on the beach and you find what's in your pockets. So it's completely random. The companion book added the barrels and the crates and everything where you could comb the beach, which I think was a brilliant addition to the game because it gives you a little bit chance. You guys were a little bit more prepared, to go into the cave and fight the boar. And the boar, I mean, just an amazing use of the skill there and the charm spell for the rogue. It was a witch spell, but I mean, we let it roll, and that's the neat thing about the game. The rules are fluid enough that, okay. I don't see why a rogue couldn't be charming, right? Jay.
I mean, I think some of the spells cross over. So I think rogues do get a charm spell because their ability to charm people into believing what they want for them to believe.
The roguish
give
good
over
looks.
Yeah, so basically a con man kind of the ability, really, I suppose. But, so basically you start off on a beach after a shipwreck, and you're stuck on this island, and you've got to make do with what you've got. And there's a hell of a lot of places to explore. The first place you come to is Wreckhaven, which is a small town which is built from the wreckage of ships, and they're all the people who have been cast away on the island over the years, and have now kind of created this little town. And then from there you can go to various churches, and the island's hundreds of years old, and it's got loads of different things going on. There's even some floating islands. People come into a later place, but there's going to be there's loads of caverns, and there's catacombs, and there's a few. I've done a few adventures for it, and these are all quite hefty adventures, actually. I think most of them are like 2 or 3 floors big, of dungeons and stuff. So,
one of the support books that you've got out is the Adventures of. I can't remember. I don't have the PDF in front of me, but yeah.
The Ever Dead, and then there's the.
It's a manor, right?
Yes.
The manor one, yeah, and. So I think there's 3 adventures out. There are 3 adventures out.
Yeah. So the game's pretty well supported. There's enough stuff to keep you busy, and the companion adds a wealth of information to it as well. So if you don't have that, that's a great thing to pick up.
Well, moving forward, I'm going to be doing this GM's book of tables, and then we're combining all the tables from all the books into one volume, so you don't have to go looking around for everything. And I'm also releasing. There's going to be a Christmas adventure as well. So there's going to be an adventure released at Christmas time. It's going to be based.
Excellent. So,
elves.
Elves. Of course, everybody knows Santa is an elf. Big Han or Penderwild. What did you think, sir?
I like it. I like the beginning, getting some random items, and with what you get, trying to make do with what you end up having. It's pretty fun. Yeah,
I like the torch mechanic, or the light source mechanic, which we didn't get too deep into because we kind of got caught up in the combat. And unfortunately, I didn't have the die. If I probably should have sat the die in front of me, just use like a really big D6, and that would have worked really well. And I think a lantern gives you a D8 or a D10. I don't remember.
Yeah, each one is a little bit longer. So I think candles I think are a little bit longer than a torch. A torch only lasts as long as we all last.
Right.
So a candle lasts a D8, and a lantern lasts a lot longer. But candles have the benefit of being able to be melted onto armor and stuff, so you can wear it on your hat.
Right.
Or you can wear it on your armor plate.
Which I can just see these goblins running around with candles stuck on their head like in World of Warcraft. So, though that was kobolds, but still. So very intuitive, very easy. I think we all picked it up really quick. And, I mean, that is pretty much the depth of the rules. It's not super. I mean, armor would have added another layer, but, you wake up, nobody found any armor, so that worked out to my benefit as a GM. And, not having a lot of as much prep time as I would have liked because, this darn work thing gets in the way of my gaming. I got to figure out a way to work around that. But that is basically the mechanic, and I think it's a smart little game, man. I mean, aside from being friends with Jay and not to pander to him, I think it's a solid game, man. I mean, it's a great, just quick and fast game, but it can be in depth. You look at those maps and stuff, especially if you're the kind of GM that likes to make complex dungeons and maps. You could go nuts with this because who knows how deep it goes. Some would say you'd have to delve to the deeper depths.
Yeah, I'm interested in Cragburn now. I want to see what's in that place.
What is it, like a $10 PDF, Jay?
It's cheaper than that, I think. The PDF for Cragburn is like $4.99, I think.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean, like I said before we started, thank you for playing, and I'm glad you all enjoyed it. And I'll make sure you all get a copy of the PDF sent to you.
Yeah.
So as a thank you, and And if you hadn't enjoyed it, you'll still get a big yes. So, like it or not.
Yeah,
But,
no, I Jay, thank you. That's very generous and kind of you, and it gets the game out there, and other people can try it and show it to their gaming groups, and hopefully people will enjoy it. It has had quite the resurgence and a lot of positive feedback on drive-through as well as on my channel. So like I said, I can't say enough good things about it. So I thank you all for taking the time to spend this Saturday afternoon with me and be geeky. I really appreciate it. This will probably go out later on tonight after it renders and everything. So I know Mojo. I've played with him before. I know Jay and I know Nasser, but Penderwild, I thank you, sir. I haven't got a chance to speak with you in the past. I just saw you jumped on the server. So thanks for signing up to play. I hope you had fun, sir.
I did. Thanks for GMing.
Oh, no, anytime.
Hopefully I'll get into some more of these.
This is something that Nasser has really put a fire under my butt to make me run more games online. So I kind of would like to do a Simba Room campaign because that is one of my favorite games. And Simba Room really does it for me. And then Jay here has when the Iron Blood, or Jay, give me the name, Blood Iron. I always want to say it different. He's got two sets of mechanics. One for the D&D 5th edition, which I don't think I would do it justice running, but the D6 version I think I would be happy to run. And Jay has talked about possibly running a game for Mr. Mean's Army. So if we can con him into for his new Legends game. Is that right, Jay?
Oh, no, I was going to run Black Iron for you.
Or Black Iron, yeah, I'm sorry.
Also have a Ruin for people as well if they want to play something post-apocalyptic. A little one-shot on a Saturday, same sort of time as today.
Oh, that would be perfect.
Because days, evenings, I'm pretty free, so
yeah,
I'm always happy to run something. It wouldn't be a regular thing, but maybe once in a while, happy to jump on and run Ruin or run Black Iron or Stranded when it comes out.
Yeah. You could run my adventure, and so I could sit I could be on the other end of that harassment. So
So I'm always happy to do that. So if anybody wants to play more games in the future, then let me know. And
we'll totally. So everybody, thank you so much. I'm gonna give me just a second here, and we can chit chat for a second, but I'm going to end the stream. So everybody, thank you for watching. We had Jay from Feral Games Inc. We had Nasser from the GRC, Mojo from the GRC, and then a local meanie, Penderwild. Am I saying that right? Penderweird?
Penderwid.
Penderwid, who just stumbled onto the channel. So awesome, and thank you. Thank you all for spending your time with me. And as always, like and subscribe. Peace and hair grease. And remember, as always, Mr. Mean says, be nice.